All right, so before we head out on the drive, let's go ahead and take one last look of it. Now, like I mentioned, this is the JCW trim, but it's not the full-fledged JCW model. So we're gonna get the same exact front bumpers of it with the black accents all across it, nice front splitter that goes across there. We got the 18-inch wheels over here with the floating center cap, the JCW brake calipers at the back, side sill extensions as well, roof rack finish in matte black, and then we get this rear spoiler from the JCW one, and then back here we also get the same exact diffuser of the JCW. The only thing you don't find there is the central exhaust pipe because they're tucked underneath. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the interior. Close the door and let's take it out for a drive. So this model right here is powered by a 2.0 turbo 4-cylinder producing 201 horsepower and 228 pound-feet of torque straight through a 7-speed DCT transmission to only the front wheels. Now, since this is the JCW model, we do find the paddle shifters for this variant, unlike the regular Cooper S model. So the Cooper S, which this is, does not carry forward the paddle shifters. You can only get that with the 5-door JCW trim, which is quite surprising. But so far, driving it, it's very comfortable, at low speeds because, this is normal roads right here, but it feels really nice. The steering wheel with the nice thickness around the 9 3 grip area is very good, and the steering is very direct. As you see right there, it's very, very, very direct. So let's go ahead and throw it into go-kart, and we're also going to put it into S for the transmission. As you see there, it wants to liven up the engine. All right, let's go ahead and give it some gas. You can hear that turbo blow-off valve that comes throughout the side of it, and as you see right there, it's gripping really, really good around these curves right here. Wow, that feels fantastic. Wow, that feels really, really good. And let's go over these bumps over here. So downshift. The brakes feel really good, even though they feel, I think they're a single piston compared to the dual piston of what they used to be beforehand for the last generation. It's still a good brake caliper. I mean, they still stop you. And then even going over these bumps with the adapted dampers, because this model does come with adapted dampers for this, it still feels good. Not too bad at all. Now, since this is a DCT, it's going to go ahead and, act like a manual transmission whenever you are driving it. We're going to go ahead and put it back into comfort mode, actually. It's going to feel like a manual transmission, meaning that if you are on a hill and you let go of your brake, it's going to pull back like a manual transmission. This is something common within every single DCT that's offered on the market right now, or even beforehand when BMW had the M4 and M3 F80 models with that DCT transmission. It is quite common. So just know that if you are living in a hilly area, or you have a hill to go up on your driveway, that will kind of hinder a little bit. Just press the gas and it will engage that clutch plate for this model. But other than that, it's a really good DCT transmission. The one on the JCW is, of course, going to be a lot more sport tuned, calibrated differently. This is more of like a eco DCT transmission. It's not sport tuned. Now, once you give it gas, it's gonna shift down and then it'll go forward, right there. So it's still good. It's still a good transmission. And that, mind you, that was in comfort mode, not in sport mode. When you do put in sport mode, it does have some different calibration to the acceleration and the transmission. But we're gonna put it back into sport mode really quick. Let's see how this model handles around this corner. I'm gonna give it some gas right here. And honestly, this honestly feels really good. The JCW one is cool if you want to go ahead and get like a sporty coupe model that has high performance. But if you need something for everyday use, this is all you need. 201 horsepower is enough. And anyways, remember, this is a part of BMW's, this is known as the B48 engine, and BMW typically underrates their engine power. So even though it says 201, I would say likely it's going to be making around 228, maybe a little bit less than that, maybe 220 if I'm not mistaken, but it's still good power for daily use. You don't have to always use it. Maybe when you go on an on-ramp, it's fine, but you don't need to use it all the time whenever you are daily driving this vehicle. Now, when it comes to seeing out of this vehicle, so this is a Cooper. So the windows are going to be a little bit more shrunken than what you find in a Countryman, which is a CUV at that point. But you can easily see out of all the side windows. Even that rear quarter window is pretty good. Now, there is a little bit of a blind spot when it comes to that D pillar section where the trunk meets with the body structure. Just know that that's normal. That's a common thing when it comes to these Mini Coopers, but we do find blind spot detection for this model compared to the last generation. The last generations actually didn't have it, so just keep that in mind, you know. Now we're gonna go ahead back onto these back roads again, and we're gonna drive it like we did last time, and we're gonna see how it performs. Now, I kind of want to put it into D mode, but not the sport mode for the transmission. So we're gonna see how it handles in the transmission shifting and if it wants to actually shift at the correct points. So right there, I don't know if you noticed, but what it did is it hung out in that second gear area, and it didn't shift until midway point when it said, oh, well, you're not accelerating too much, so let's just go ahead and shift into the next gear. That I think is pretty normal, but then again, you know, you have your paddle shifters. Unlike the Cooper S that doesn't have the paddle shifters, it's not as fun or engaging. This is actually a little bit more fun with the paddle shifters, and when you do press them, they do shift right away. So there's like no delay, probably minimal delay, and then shifting down, same exact thing, you know, exactly quick and shift points. You know, Mini has always been able to calibrate their transmissions very well, so just keep that in mind. But how do I feel? Well, I think that the 5-door one is probably my favorite one to get if you're going for a JCW trim level, not the full JCW. Now, if you're going for a full JCW, just get the coupe one. The coupe one is really, really cool. I love the styling, the fact that it has a single center exhaust, even though there's one tucked underneath, but it's still a great overall vehicle. All these Mini Coopers are amazing, and honestly, we don't know what's going to be happening for the next generation of Mini Cooper. We don't know if they're going to end up going full electric. I hope not, because that would really kill a huge fan base that's currently been thriving. You know, everybody loves Mini Coopers, and look at this. Even when we reverse it here, let's go ahead and reverse it with the trajectory. You can actually see, and that side window right there, or mirror I should say, actually does tilt downward, so it helps with parking. But overall, great vehicle. One of my favorite vehicles to drive right now when it comes to compact vehicles. This is a really good one, and especially with this trim level. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.